Hello again, this is Oliver and welcome back to yet another short video where I explain different analysis techniques for Sudoku. If you like my videos, be sure and give me the thumbs up, and you might think of subscribing as well, be greatly appreciated. Now this short video is about the three-way, which down below in the description you'll see a link to where Duncan has it described. And I found a problem with his description of it, and I've explained it now as I go through a couple of examples. So I will not put up on the screen yet his text. Okay, we'll come to that later on. But the idea is that you're looking for three squares that between them have three possibles. Now that's very similar to what we did before in our triples. I think that was in tutorial 4. I'll put a link to that one up here. So three squares with a total of three possibles between them. However, one of the squares must have all three possibles, and the other two squares must have just two of the possibles. So that's the first thing that we're looking for. So let's have a look at this example here. This cell here, which is G6, it has 7, 5, 9. And if we go over then to G4, it has 7, 9. So we've got part of what's required here. We have 3 in one cell, we have 2 in another cell. So we're looking now for a third cell that will either have 5, 9 or 5, 7. And if we look around, well, I can't see any, so let's forget about that one. And if we come up here now to E3, it has 8, 9. And if you see, D2 has 7, 9. So we're now looking for something that has 7, 8 and 9 in it. And if we go up there to B3, we can see 7, 8 and 9. Now according to Duncan's specification, that's all required. That's all that's required. So we could actually take B3, D2 and E3 as our candidates for the three-way. Now I found that that is not sufficient. What's also required is that the cell that has the three possibles in it must be able to see the other two cells. There must be a linkage between them. And so for example, we have a linkage between B3 and E3. They can see each other. But D2 and E3 cannot see each other. However, there is another cell, C1. So if we think of C1, B3 and E3, now we have valid contenders because C1 can be seen by B3, as can D3. Then we have to look for a target cell. Now in this case we have a 7, 9 and an 8, 9. The common between the two of those is a 9. So we're looking for some cell that has a 9 in it and can be seen by all three cells. So here's a possibility that has 9. You can see this one, it can see that one, but it can't see that one over there. That can see C1, it can see B3, and it can also see E3. So this is a valid target. Now let's see how it works out. So we'll take any of what I call the slave cells, which will either be C1 or E3. We'll take E3 for starters. If this is a 9, if the 9 is in here, then we can't have a 9 here. Grand. If this is an 8, right, well that means we can't have an 8 here. So we're going to have a 7, 9 and a 7, 9. That's a pair, which means in the rest of this house we can't have any 9s, so that will also be false. That's if we're looking at this cell. Now look at this cell up here. Our options are a 7 and a 9. If it's a 9, well then we can't have any 9s anywhere else in the house. If it's a 7, then we knock out this 7, and now we have a pair 8, 9, 8, 9. So in this column now we can't have any other 8, 9s. That's why it is important that our master cell is linked to the two slave cells, and that each of the slave cells has two of the three possibilities, and between the two slave cells it has the total of the three possibilities. Now that might have been a long-winded way of doing it. and I'll just put up here now what I think is the proper description of it. We're looking for 3 squares or cells containing 3 different possibles between them. 1 square contains all 3 possibles. The other 2 squares contain 2 different pairs and must be seen by the square containing the 3 possibles. I put that there, last part is very important. Any possible that can see all 3 common possibles can be removed. For a possible to see another possible, it must simply be in the same row, column or house and have the same value. Alright, very long-winded, but that's it. Alright, I shall leave it for there and see you tomorrow with another one. Till then, slán tamil.